A battered man is kneeling before a man standing arrogantly, his angry black eyes shining. His eyebrows furrow with tightly pressed thin lips, restraining himself from killing the battered man who is his subordinate. The young and handsome man just wants to ask something before sending that man to the afterlife. On both sides of him, there are bodyguards dressed in all black, glaring sharply at the battered man who keeps his head down. No one in the room would dare to mess with the most feared mafia boss in South Korea, Jungkook. Daejun, do you know what you did wrong? Jungkook kicks Daejun's body again, hoping that Daejun will remember his mistake. I'm sorry, boss. I sincerely apologize. I was tempted by a woman. I was deceived. That's how I unintentionally leaked crucial organization information. Please forgive me. I beg you. Daejun's voice trembles, but it doesn't evoke any sympathy from Jungkook. Tell me, what's the name of the woman who tempted you? Her name is Kim Hera. Jungkook raises an eyebrow. He seems familiar with the woman's name, and he is sure her days are numbered for daring to steal vital information from his organization. Jungkook raises his hand, a sly smile appearing on his handsome face. Kill this bastard. The command echoes and Daejun widens his eyes, shaking his head violently. The wretched man clings to his legs. Please, don't. I'll do anything. Just don't kill me, boss. Daejun weeps. He knows too well the cruel and unforgiving nature of his boss. Daejun regrets falling for the temptation of that woman. The woman promised to satisfy him in bed, and in return, he had to provide crucial information from the mafia organization led by Jungkook. Foolish. Now Daejun curses his own foolishness. Jungkook furrows his brow, visibly disgusted as his expensive pants come into contact with the dinginess of the traitorous subordinate. He sighs heavily, then reaches his hand towards the bodyguard on his right. Give me the handgun. No, boss. Please don't. I don't want to die. Spare me, boss. Daejun's screams resonate in the room, causing Jungkook to roll his eyes in annoyance. The bodyguard on his right hand over the handgun. Jungkook presses the muzzle of the handgun against Daejun's forehead. Meanwhile, Daejun's trembling body is soaked in blood and tears. Boss, please, Before Daejun could finish his sentence, Jungkook pulled the trigger, sending the hot bullet straight into his head. Daejun's large body collapses pitifully on the floor. Jungkook tosses the handgun into a corner of the room, sending shivers down the spines of all his subordinates present. They silently caution themselves not to cross any boundaries with Jungkook. Let's find Kim Hera. She needs to be eliminated. Jungkook's voice resonates coldly, instantly intimidating all the guards in the room. Ready, boss. Jungkook then strides past Daejun's lifeless body, exiting the room. Meanwhile, all the guards promptly follow him, each with a bead of cold sweat dripping down their temples. Yin looked relaxed. Earlier at the office, she wasn't too busy, finishing all her tasks and leaving early. By 7 in the evening, she was already sprawled on her bed. In front of her, a laptop played a romantic drama. Suddenly, however, her leisure time had to pause momentarily upon hearing the sound of something breaking. Yin rose from her bed and headed to the kitchen, as it seemed like the sound came from there. However, she had to settle for finding a broken plate without identifying the culprit. Yin clenched her jaw, fists by her sides. In fact, Yin had reported this incident to the police. She reported it right when she received a package containing a bikini and a single rose at her apartment door from an unknown sender. However, the police seemed to dismiss her report. Yin witnessed one of the officers laughing and suggesting that it was just a prank by one of Yin's friends. No, this was not just a prank. Disturbing a girl by sending her lingerie every morning is a criminal act, not only roses and underwear. At times, Yin discovered her window open in the morning, although she remembered closing it. Strangely, nothing was missing. And when Yin was about to check the CCTV in front of her apartment, she was shocked to receive a report that the CCTV was damaged. Damn, who would be so malicious to go that far, damaging the CCTV? Yin's fear deepened every day. Tired and still without a solution, she finally returned to her bedroom and turned off her laptop, trying to sleep. Little did Yin know, a pair of black eyes were peering through the gap in her apartment ceiling. Yin glanced at the clock on her bedroom wall. It was already 6 in the morning. At least, she wouldn't be late like yesterday. So, Yin got out of bed and headed towards the bathroom. Yin was about to wash her face in front of the sink. However, when she saw her reflection in the mirror, she screamed hysterically upon discovering purplish red marks on her pristine white neck. Yin approached the mirror, only to scrutinize the marks, wondering if they were caused by insects or… Damn it, these are hickeys. Yin's voice trembled. She never slept with any man, especially not last night. She was alone in her apartment. So, who could have done this? It couldn't be. Meanwhile, elsewhere, a dimly lit room filled with cigarette smoke, dirty clothes scattered on the sofa, empty drink bottles, and instant noodle cups strewn across the floor, and in the middle of the room, a large computer screen displaying the bedroom, kitchen, living room, and toilet of Yin. The mysterious man drank beer straight from the bottle. Then his eyes remained fixed on the screen. He gleamed as he watched Yin appear so panicked in front of the mirror. Luckily, I left her apartment just in time. Turns out she woke up early this morning. Unfortunately, today Yin had to work overtime until midnight. Her workload suddenly skyrocketed, thanks to her boss who unexpectedly handed her a bunch of files, causing her a headache. Yin intended to chip away at completing her files, but due to the sheer volume, she had to put in extra time and effort to get them done. Not wanting to stay overnight at the office, around midnight, Yin left the office and headed towards the parking lot. However, upon reaching the parking lot, she was shocked to find all four tires of her car flattened. Damn it, who the heck is messing around flattening my tires like this? Yin sighed heavily and reluctantly had to search for a taxi. However, finding a taxi at this late hour was challenging. She stood by the roadside, hoping a taxi would pass by. Yet, why did she feel like someone was following her? The streets of Seoul were not as busy as usual. For some reason, fear crept into her mind. Yin continued standing on the sidewalk, glancing around nervously, checking both sides like a thief. However, her actual purpose was to ensure that no one was following her. Yin tried to grab her phone from her bag, attempting to open the online taxi application, but her hand couldn't reach it. It seemed stuck among the objects in her bag. Then, across the street, Yin noticed a tall guy wearing a hoodie. The man's black eyes stared sharply in her direction, with a menacing smile on his face. All the hair on her body stood on end. Yin immediately turned around, intending to return to her office and scream for help. Unfortunately, luck was not on her side. She found herself in a quiet alley behind the building, which served as a deserted parking lot. Yin racked her brain, thinking that she could call someone. Yin started to run while reaching for her phone in her bag. However, she couldn't retrieve it yet. Blame her bag for being too full. She looked back, and her body tensed up. The mysterious man was ruthlessly chasing her, and the distance between them was closing. Yin sped up her pace until she left the office premises and found a quieter street. Her face was now pale with tears welling up in her eyes. Truly, she was terrified. Help, anyone, please help me. Yin screamed, tears streaming down her cheeks. She sincerely hoped that someone passing by would come to her aid and rescue her from the crazed person chasing her. Yin was convinced that the one pursuing her was the same person who sent her flowers and underwear, the stalker. Suddenly, Yin's eyes caught sight of a man getting out of a car by the roadside. Help, help, please help me. She shouted as loudly as possible, successfully making the man on the roadside turn his head. The man was Jungkook, who had just finished dealing with Kim Hera. Now, he unexpectedly found a sweet girl being chased by a man in a hoodie. Yin ran toward him and hid behind his tall frame, her hand gripping the jacket he was wearing. Please help me, stop that crazy man. Yin's cries broke into loud sobs. Meanwhile, Jungkook observed the charming appearance of the girl who, despite being in disarray, looked incredibly beautiful and sweet. Jungkook understood why the man in the hoodie was chasing this girl. According to him, the girl was too captivating. Realizing that Yin had taken refuge with another man, the stalker stopped chasing and stood a few meters away from Jungkook. Hey, don't interfere, or I'll kill you. Jungkook wasn't scared at all. He glanced at the girl standing behind him. Hey, do you want to be safe? Yin nodded vigorously. Fine, but there's a condition. What condition? If I successfully save you, you have to agree to come to my mansion. Why is that? Do you want to be safe or not? Yin immediately thought. She didn't see anyone passing by here except for this man. If she refused the condition, she might be caught by that crazy man. Yin was truly cornered now. Finally, Yin became curious. She took a quick look at the man in front of her, appearing to be young like her, and his face seemed softer, at least not as terrifying as the stalker who was currently chasing her. So, amidst this dire situation, Yin immediately made a choice. She preferred being taken by the man in front of her rather than the stalker. Fine, save me. Jungkook smiled widely, then swiftly retrieved a handgun from his jacket pocket and, with a quick motion, he shot the stalker right in the head. The stalker couldn't avoid it at all, as Jungkook's movements were lightning fast. While Yin widened her eyes in shock, she was shocked. Yin felt like she might have made a mistake asking for help from this man, but there was no other option. Yin had heard the saying, avoiding the alligator pit but ending up in the lion's den. It's done, as per the condition. Let's get into my car now. Jungkook then entered his car. Meanwhile, Yin had to swallow her fear. Whether she liked it or not, she entered the car of this unfamiliar man. Yin was puzzled about why this man asked her to go to his mansion. However, Yin didn't dare to ask, considering the man had a handgun. Once inside the car, Yin caught a whiff of the metallic scent of blood. She turned her gaze toward the back seat. Her eyes widened as she saw the lifeless body of a woman lying there. Fear immediately shook her body. Her brain signaled her to escape. Her pale hand reached for the door handle. Yet, before she could leave, Jungkook swiftly struck the back of her neck, causing Yin to lose consciousness. Did you think you could just leave me like that, hum? You are the first girl in this world who managed to catch my attention. Yin blinked her eyes, still feeling unusual, but she tried to process what was happening. Her body ached as she moved. As her eyes adjusted to the dim light in the bedroom, she rose from the bed. Where am I? She wondered silently, and then the bedroom door opened, revealing Jungkook standing there before entering. You're awake, huh? Who are you? I'm Jungkook. Approaching Yin, who was still holding her aching head, Jungkook sat on the edge of the bed and took one of her slender hands. Let go of my hand. What do you want? She tried to pull her hand away but stopped when she saw Jungkook holding a bandage. Calm down. I apologize for being rough with you yesterday. I don't want it. Let go. Shh, relax. I just want to treat your hand. Yesterday, I accidentally hit the door while carrying you into the mansion. His voice was surprisingly calm, and she concluded that this stranger intended to treat her wound. She thought he might use it as an excuse to harm her. They're all done. Jungkook released her hand. Their eyes met, and she still trembled with fear. What's your name? Can I leave now? We agreed that if I saved you, you'd be willing to come to this mansion with me. Yin shook her head. She was an orphan, with both her parents deceased. No one would care if she went missing, and no one would try to save her. While Yin desperately wanted to leave the mansion, how could she manage it? Maybe her office would wonder where she went. Yin hoped her colleagues would contact the police. However, witnessing how easily Jungkook killed someone and casually carried the body in his car, could the police handle such a dangerous person? Who is this man? Would she end up as another lifeless body? I'll ask you again. What's your name? Instead of answering, Yin retreated until her back hit the bedhead, clear fear evident on her face. Jungkook sighed softly. Normally, if someone didn't respond to his question, he would kick them. But why couldn't he get angry at this girl? Instead, he felt guilty for frightening her. Jungkook couldn't understand his feelings at the moment, confused by his actions. Alright, take some rest. Rather than keeping the girl scared, Jungkook chose to stand up and leave the room. Now Yin was alone in the room, trying to descend from the bed. Her legs hurried to the door, and her pale hands grabbed the doorknob, turning it. Unfortunately, it was locked. Yin now walks towards the front window. She just realized she was in a mansion deep in the woods. How could she scream for help in this situation? She scans the entire room but can't find her phone. Jungkook must have taken it. Why would he imprison her in this luxurious bedroom? What's his intention? Is he planning to sell her organs? Yin raises an eyebrow. If she were a prisoner, there'd be no need to politely knock on the door, right? It seemed too courteous for someone like her. Come in. As the door opens, a maid stands on the threshold with a tray of food and drink in her right hand. Good morning, miss. Mr. Jian asked me to deliver food to you and make sure you eat. Huh, I don't want to eat. I want to get out of here. The maid swallows hard. If she can't get this girl to eat, it might be the end for her. Meanwhile, Yin is genuinely hungry. Her head is pounding. However, she refuses to accept food from Jungkook. Please, miss. If not, I might get killed. Damn. Jungkook is indeed a dangerous person. Who is Jungkook? Really? Oh, he's a mafia boss. Hearing this, Yin feels like her world has come to a halt. Now, she realizes she's in serious trouble.